Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, October 16th, and today we're just going to cover YieldMax the best we can because, again, still work in progress, working on my new spreadsheet, thanks to a good dude helping out in the community, trying to automate it the best I can. So you're not going to get what you want to see all in today's video, but we'll do the best we can. I'll show you where we are with the new spreadsheet. We'll go over the YieldMax distributions that were announced this week. And then, of course, we'll cover my options trades or lack thereof at the end of the video. Okay. Audio is good. Thank you, Chew Dog. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Steel. Good morning, DPC Dad. Good morning, Bond, brother, everyone here. So let's get to it. Let's look at Bitcoin though. First things first, right? Yeah, red. Oh, look at this. Oof. Damn, dropped to 109 at 5:40 a.m. I was awake. I guess I missed that one, but that's painful. But now it's back at 111. What's it doing? I don't know. It's doing what it's doing. All right. So all we can do, or all I can do, is just buy on a daily basis and hopefully get to 1 Bitcoin. Right. Journey resumes, never ends. Right. I pulled this up just for fun. The Bitcoin exchange balances. This is from coinglass.com. Not sure how accurate it is, but it's showing Coinbase is basically holding the largest balance of Bitcoin, and that, Binance is right behind them. Wow, Binance is pretty big, but again, they're more like international. They do have a U.S. version app, which is I did use a lot in the past. I don't use it as much anymore. Never even heard of this one. Bitfinex, Gemini is a big one, because everyone tells me their credit card's better than Robinhood's. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't even know what the hell Gemini is and trust it. So I'll stick with my little Robinhood credit card. OKX, heard of them. Bye Bit. Yeah, there's a whole Kraken, obviously, is way down here, but I heard of that one. Anyway, just for fun, I figured I'd cover that. So let me show you the new spreadsheet. So let's zoom in here. Let's do 150 for now. So we're pretty much going to automate how we're going to pull, the intraday trades, and it's going to pull how it's been. We're going to pull the holdings, and we're going to pull the distributions. And luckily, like I said, a good friend online, it's helped me kind of like automate that. So via the hit of a button, and as new funds get added, I will add them down here. Simple as that. So this is the home page. This is the stats page. This is where I'm going to put the various stats. Like right now, this is like the assets under management. This is the largest fund, top to bottom. So the $1 billion club has MSTY, ULTY, NVIDIA, TSLY, CONY, and YieldMax. PLTY is trying to get there, but yeah, it's a struggle. But it's the next up at bat. YMAG pretty far behind. SMCY suckers far behind. AMZ, I don't know if they'll ever hit $1 billion, to be honest. But HOOY maybe, but because they're newer. AMZ's been around forever and a day. But if you go to the very bottom, let's see who's on the bottom. Well, GMEY, they just launched. Circo just launched. HIYY, all these just launched. But Dips, yeah, Dips did not just launch, and they're hurting. Let's see who else. Yeah, YQQQ, 5E. Wow. Okay. RDTY. All right. Yeah. But anyway, I'll have more stats on this page, maybe like the highest yielders, things like that. Again, you have to bear with me as we get there. We will get there for sure. All right. And I don't even know like if this is the right order for the coverage, but I woke up late, but I should have got up at 4. I did not, but I'm going to be spending all mornings working on this, usually, probably. All right, so now I'm going to do some fund comparisons, the funds that you guys are used to. We'll cover them and then a few others, and I'll probably just add one each video until I get all of them added in there. Ready? Here we go. MSTR. Well, actually, let me get up 200%. You guys probably can't see this. How's that? Is that better? You know what? Let me take a sip of coffee too. I missed doing YouTube actually. Although Spaces is fun in the morning. Thank you all for those who joined. It just makes the commute go by pretty quick. All right. Let's see. So let's look at the past 2 days actually. Mr. went down 4.69, and then yesterday it went down 1.3. So in total, Mr. went down 5.99%. Misty went down 5.4%, so a little less. And then you could see the distribution is going to pick up automatically because it's going to get subtract or added back in, I should say, in order to calculate, with the percentage change, because we don't want to hold that against them, the drop of the distribution, because we're comparing it to the underlying. But today is October 16th, and today is ex-dividend date. So, of course, you will see the drop in the underlying. All right. NVIDIA, how you doing? No, how you doing? Let's see. Well, NVIDIA went down 4.4% on the 14th, and then down 0.11%. So again, I'm just going to highlight the two since we did not do coverage yesterday. It went down 4.51%, and NVIDIA went down 4.03%. Okay, and then obviously you can see the distribution. And since they just paid out last week, this is representative of a true weekly distribution. I know some of them it's not going to be that way, but since NVIDIA did pay last week, again, this is kind of what you're going to expect on a weekly basis. Could be a little more, could be a little less, but ideally that is a true week worth. All right, let's look at coin. Within the 2 days, they went down 5.86%. And let's check out CONY. They went down 5.12%, so a little less. And obviously, you can see this distribution. However, it's not for a week, so we can't really, assume that. I'll get into the distribution numbers at the end if you guys want me to. TSLY, they had a down day, then an up day. But let's add the two between the last 2 days. It netted down 0.15. Again, this is not comparing yesterday's close to the close on Monday. It's just comparing the changes, adding the changes between the 2 days, which, yes, it could be different. TSLY actually shows it went up 0.25%. So far in all examples, the ETF is beating the underlying. And then you could see here's the distribution. But again, this is not based on just 1 week. This is the true up. A lot of these are having true up since, they're a little behind on the payment since they were normally scheduled to pay the 4 weeks, if that makes sense. All right, up next is your boy, PLTY. They went up and down. So they went up 1.36%, and PLTY, they went up 1.07. All right, so again, it looks like because of the up day, maybe they were capped on their covered calls and they were lagging. So that's why the miss there. And then, yes, they declared. This is, again, probably representative of true weekly because they did pay last week. You could see last week's payment was $3.28, and then this week's payment 74 cents because, again, like 1 week later, we are weekly now. Weekly has begun. This is what you guys wanted, right? All right, what's up, SMCY suckers? All right, so SMCY, how you doing? Well, they went down 1.43% between the 2 days, and then SMCY went down 1.03. All right, not as bad. Then you can see their distro, Amazon, between the 2 days, the shift is down 2.05, MZ down 1.81, and then we go to Robin the Hood over here. Damn, they got beat up the other day, down 4.67. HOOY did a little better, went down 3.78, and then oh yeah, here's again, true up distribution. Don't expect this on a weekly basis. I assume you guys know that, guys and gals, of course. A horse is a horse, of course. All right, you ready? AMD went thug nasty yesterday. Wow. Oh my goodness, it went up well, it went up 9.4% yesterday. Between the 2 days, it went up 10.18. AMDY, I mean, that's pretty damn good. It captured 8% on that. So that's not bad, actually. That's really good. So they probably, you know, closed out, or I don't know. Their calls were probably pretty far out of the money in order to capture that much upside. Let's look at GDX. They had a down and then an up day. Real quick, they went up 2.69%. And GDXY went up 1.58%. And again, so since they paid last week, 11 cents is kind of like, you know, what you can expect from going forward at or around there, right? Of course, we'll do the guesstimates on the weekly and we'll figure out like if that makes sense. Like if they have a good week, maybe they'll pay a little more. If they have a crappy week, maybe they'll pay a little less. If they're more volatile, of course, yeah, the premium will be higher, things like that. All right, again, we're going to check a few more. Meta went up 0.27. MSTY, just kidding, it's Phoebe. It went up 0.34, so Phoebe beat it. Just beat it. All right, so what else we got here? GOOG, or shall we say Goog? What's up, Goog? All right, Goog went up 2.88. And what about GUI? GUI went up 1.67. So lagging just a little bit. And what about Netflix? They went down both days. They went down 1.29. And then, of course, Netflix went down 1.33. All right, so around the same. Now, again, I'm adding to this daily compare as we go. So if I go to the stats, who's under Netflix? Where is Netflix? Netflix over here. Yeah, so we did have all these. I'm kind of skipping over the fund to funds because we'll kind of add them at the end. But yeah, next up would be PLTY. So I'm just going to add one, right? Because when the hell else am I going to do this, right? So I'll go like this. Well, crap, I'm running out of space here now. All right, so what I need to do is do that. And then I'll do insert columns to the right. All right, that's better. All right, so now, again, what I'll do is this. Good morning, everyone, by the way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being patient while my spreadsheet journey changes and gets to the point. AAPL underlying, right? And then we'll add PLTY right here. And then, of course, the distro. So right now it's pulling G3. You want to pull A3 for the date. It's going to look up the date, right, being 10/9. And then it's going to pull on the distributions tab the PLTY distribution. So I have to go to the distributions tab, which I'll show you in more detail in a second. But I got to find PLTY now. So if I go here, it's kind of a, you know, it's tough, but we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. There's PLTY. So PLTY, I want the X date, column Z to column AC. So we got column Z to column AC. So we'll pull that, and then we'll do a test run here. And then yesterday's distribution is showing 18 cents. We do a check right here, 18 cents. Okay, perfect. See, simple, right? Nothing, again, I'm just doing the one. I'm not going to make you guys suffer through the me adding all the funds. But, you know, as we add the more of the funds, I'm probably, again, how is this going to work on the coverage? Because it's too much to go through the daily change on every single fund. But we'll just kind of do, you know, the big ones that we usually do up front, and then we'll look for eye openers on the others. That's my thinking. Again, feedback is welcome. For those of you that are live, we have 250 of you right now. I know it's early, still early, 6 o'clock-ish, right, on X and YouTube. So feel free to leave some feedback as we go, as I'm presenting this. All right, so now we have the trades. So again, we'll look at MSTY. It's kind of, like I said, this video is going to be all over the place until I get some rhythm here. So let's go to M to the S to the T to the Y. This is from yesterday, October 15th. Why is this column so big? Yeah, let's shrink that. Shrink the strategy, maybe. Can we shrink that? No, maybe not. All right. So what did MSTY do yesterday? I don't know, man. A lot of things. They sold some covered calls. You could see the bright green. Green is representative of like the realized income. So when they short sale call, that means like selling a call. You could see the expiration date too. That's for next week. So they're already starting next week's, and they're bringing in premium from those covered calls. Here's a buy to close. So here's a call that they closed, a 337.50 strike. And you can see they paid about 45 cents per share, which is rather cheap, which means overall net profit on that trade. Again, we're not tracking the individual net profit per transaction because, I mean, yeah, you can't. That's something I don't even know where to begin to automate that, to be honest, but I don't think we need to, right? It was a lot. It was nice to understand how the workings, the inner workings of the fund, but keeping this at a high level, we can talk about more funds too, which is good. So here's, they're selling more calls, closing some calls. You can see the closures are pretty much cheap. So that means, they probably profited most of the premium that they had or that they received on those covered calls, which is why they closed them early. And then they opened new ones for next week. You could see they got, pretty penny, $4. This is per share. And then obviously you could see how much they made here. And then here's the strike prices and the out of the money, 10, 11, 9% out of the money. Hell yeah, bro. And then moving on down here, more buy to closes. But overall, MSTY actually made 13.2 mil. All right. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to I do have the holdings, but I'm not really set up to tell you the current position. That I'm still working on. I only have a 3-cell gap right now. I need a 4-cell gap. So I don't want to mess around with this automation spreadsheet. So if I go, where the hell is MSTY? We can at least look at it. Again, we got every ticker now. So this is no longer specific, but of course, if you want the popular ones, we could do that. If you guys own other ones that I never used to cover, you have to let me know, which ones you want. So yeah, here's MSTY, obviously. So you'll see, we have to make the columns bigger for one. And then where the hell are we here? Why is it not moving? Oh, there you go. All right. So yeah, synthetic at the top. This is in funky order. 322.50. Wow, this is in really weird order. Okay, so maybe it's not straightforward. I don't know if this is because of the new website change. But you see the negatives here. Puts, yeah. Put down here. Treasury bill in the middle. Put here. Good Lord. Yeah, so this is going to be quite the journey to gather this data. But of course, yeah, to the right, I'm going to add, how far the money, what strikes. But I'll have to figure out the best way to sort this data. Yeah, that's going to suck. Anyway, let's move on. So as far as trades go, for those of you that are live, do you guys just want me to cover the norm? Like TSLY, look at the trades on TSLY, look at the trades on PLTY, look at the trades on HOOY. What do you do? What do you say? I also did this. So check this bad boy out. I got the realized detail. This is really how I'm going to cover it. So if I look at ABNY, you could see actually, let me zoom out a little because it's probably a little hard to see. You could see, expiration date, buy to close, sell, And it's kind of in sequential order. I just don't have the formulas. All right, so David Kaufman, who is here live, he says, Marrow. He says, can you do Marrow? I said, sure. So let's go over here now. We'll do it the new way. Again, this is the new pivot table up in her. Marrow, how you doing? So what are they doing? Buy, call. All right. Again, this is sorted by expiration date first. So they're buying a call. It looks like, again, this is for probably the credit call spread. Because there's short sale. We don't have the number of contracts actually. Maybe we should add that. Good idea. Good idea. Where should we add it? Let's see. Probably after type. So let's do that. Let's do number of contracts after type. Quantity. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we don't want totals. Why is totals coming up? Let's take that out. All we want. Short sale total. Why is that? Oh, here you go. There we go. All right. So where the hell were we? Marrow. Told you guys, work in progress here. Bear with me. That's why I put the sign up right in front of the thumbnail. All right, let's see here. So yeah, so now you can see this should be formatted in number format, a little easier to look at, you know. All right, so there you go, 9,000. So yeah, how does it match up, right? So let's look at the short sale down here. Like they're selling a call, $22 call, and then they're buying a call at 23. Wow, that's close. And then they got 10,000, 10,000, 12,000. Where the hell is it? There it is. So short sell here, you can see, you know, they're selling calls, buying call, all the jazz, and they're closing calls too. So they're closing up. What the heck happened? You know what? Let me go to the daily compare. No, crap, they're not on here. Damn it. See, this is why I need everyone on there. But yeah, overall for the day, Marrow made, again, this is just realized income from all of the trades. They made about 5.5 million. And now another tab, again, this is called realized one. This is going to calculate the income, the realized income throughout the week. Because again, each week matters, right? So if we go to Marrow this week, wait, 5.5. Let me go back to the detail. Yesterday was what, the 15th? Oh, this is pulling up. Realized detail. No wonder. This is too many freaking days. Oi. Because it's pulling up all trades. My bad. All right. So now we got to do it by day. We got to add day to the beginning of the filter. Although we kind of don't want every single freaking day. We just want the current day. So we're going to go to filter, and we're going to add date. Actually, you know what? We'll just add it to the beginning, and then if it gets too big, we can fix it. Repeats. Okay. So yeah, 10:15 Mara. Oh my God, so much easier. Wow. All right. So yeah, that makes sense. They made 424,000. That other total was for the week. All right, good. Thank goodness. I'm like, what? Everyone had way too many trades. So you can see here, Monday, wow, they made 10.3 mil. Tuesday, they lost 4.3. Yesterday, they lost 424,000. And then for the week, they made 5.5 mil. This is the number of outstanding shares that they have. This is the ETF price. And this is what it's calculated per share income, 91 cents. And if they paid that, that would be a 235% yield. So that's kind of like, again, the story here. And I'm going to be able to track this again, on a daily basis. So if there's other funds, this is probably what you guys are going to care about. That's what I'm guessing. LFGY, it looks a little crazy. Look at this. So I'm not sure. I think they did a reallocation and they sold out some of their funds, which is why they're showing that they made freaking bank, bro, yesterday. 322 million. Again, ridiculous, I know. But you know, if we just look, like if we skim through these, like who's shining here? AMD. Oh, I need to freeze these panes too. What do you guys think so far? Is this confusing as hell, or what? Give me some feedback here. I need something, a little something. But here you go. Maybe this will be better. Again, is this what you guys really care about? It would be helpful if I could spell too. Outstanding. Outstanding. I feel like I spell that wrong all the time. That's pretty sad. All right. Anyway, let's look here. So AMDY, yeah, they're doing good. 32 cents per share. Again, Chippy and LFGY are, again, I think they did a reallocation. I want to get, I don't know if ETF Inspector, if you're here, I did message you about that because I'm pretty sure, because you cover ULTY. ULTY does that all the time. They got the blanks. You know, if you go to the trade download, let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. I'm assuming you guys care. You probably don't, but where the hell is it? Where the hell is freaking Chippity Doodah? So if you go to Chippy, see all this? They're selling, sell, but they're selling numbers, right? It shows numbers. I'm just going to assume that's the individual underlyings. They're cashing out, doing a reallocation. I don't know. I never really covered the fund of funds in this manner, so it's hard to confirm. But either way, let's look at the others, see if there's anything big. Yeah, Maro. We talked about Maro. They're kicking ass. MSFO 39 cents. What do we got here? Why am I not moving? There you go. Okay. Oh, ULTY. Holy crap. Well, they must have did a reallocation too. Yeah. So again, we're gonna format the amounts too. Got the dates on the top. So let's do this. Do that, and then we don't want decimals. Too much noise in the decimals. All right, so that's a little better. Let's see here. Okay. SDTY, 17 cents. That pretty much made what they'll yield, right? They'll yield 19%. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? That's, again, it's called realized 1, but we're gonna have realized 2, 3, 4 for every single freaking week. All right. So yes, I see a question about implied volatility. I have to still add it to the sheet because I want that to be also a stat on the rankings. But I need to talk to my friend to see, because that formula, it pulls from an external website. And when you guys typically see my Google Sheet issues, I believe it's because of that. Like that field, I'm pulling the implied volatility on a million different funds. If there's a better way to pull it, I'm going to do that before I break this spreadsheet. If not, I'm going to have to add it because that is such a key factor here. But yes, of course, that will be added. Bandsman, thank you for bringing that up. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How do you pull the outstanding shares? Well, lucky for me, again, it's kind of automated, but what I was doing is I was pulling it from the holdings. So you can see here, the holdings download, it does have outstanding shares. And in my opinion, it's always the updated outstanding shares versus the website. But I am pulling both the outstanding shares from the holdings and then the website outstanding shares just to do like a quick check. Or if one fails, I'll use the other, kind of something like that. Hopefully that answers your question, Kevin. All right. Thank you, Charles. At least someone acknowledged. But no, it's I know this is like it's going to be a little bumpy. Let's just say that. Are any that have switched to weekly still have huge synthetics? Well, yeah, they're, that's not going to change anything, right? The ones that are making bank, bro, on the synthetic, that's not changing. However, I just don't think we're going to get like these massive payouts like we used to. They're just going to kind of, base it on the IV, the premium, the juice that they make each week on the covered calls. That's probably what we're going to get paid, right? Not the synthetic income, unless it's like a massive payment. Yeah, they'll probably spread it out then throughout the weeks. I just don't think, I don't know. But based on what I kind of heard them YieldMax people explain it, that's kind of how I thought it was going, or seems like the way it's going. We'll see though. We'll play it by ear. Nikki, how do you talk on the space thing? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, at least you were trying. You just gotta hit the microphone, and then the hostess with the mostest will allow you to speak. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think they will smooth out the payments. Gershon been coming. All right, let's see. Sunita de Souza. Yeah, we're on this ride with you, Rod. We can see you figuring it out as you go. It's fun. Well, I'm glad you're having fun. I'm assuming most will be annoyed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people like to see the creation with me. I don't know. But it's a work in progress. And again, I'm not going to stop posting. I'm going to do most of it, obviously, off camera. But, I'm going to do some of it with you guys. And you're going to suffer with me. Because why not? All right. So anyway, we talked about the realized one. This is where my guesstimate's going to come from for the most part. Of course, with the IV as well. Outstanding shares, we talked about that. Again, no big deal. But it is what it is. And then, of course, we have the distributions. So the new website, yeah, it's, is what it is. But we'll have a distribution amount. I'm calculating the yield. So, and then I want to do a comparison of who's paying the highest yield at the current moment. Again, that's another thing. It's just going to be, we'll get there. Okay. So again, and we're going to talk about the distributions in a second, but here's just a download of the distributions for every single freaking fund. All right. Every single fund. It's got the ROC. I don't know if you guys give a crap about the ROC, but again, the ROC is an estimate anyway, so it doesn't really matter at the moment. Let's see if there's any more comments. All right, there is not. So let's go to the holdings. Again, holdings, this is the last tab. But yeah, of course, I'm going to add, well, I have to, once I add the fourth column, then I'm going to make it look like kind of the old sheet. And I'll have, like you see here, hopefully, and then we'll show like how far the money, the various covered calls. But the problem is, again, the sorting. I'm not a fan of how the sorting is working out. Let's look at another fund. You know what? Let's go to the very beginning here. I think TSLY is the first one. Yeah, so TSLY, again, what are they? Yeah, they got calls at the see, usually it's sorted by the shares, and then the negative shares at the top. So yeah, I'll have to work on that. Actually, I'll have to make a note right now somewhere. Someone remind me. I don't know. All right, what else? Let's see if we got any comments here before we keep going. Can this data be out in the Discord? What data? I'm going to try to share like updates on the X Spaces. But if you're asking if this spreadsheet can be on Discord, no. This spreadsheet, again, there's very few spreadsheets I don't share. My daily spreadsheet was always one. This is now the daily spreadsheet. And of course, my YieldMax distributions is another, because it just changes every single day. So I'd be sending it to you guys every single day, right? Anyway, let's keep going. How many funds does YieldMax have now? Well, that'll bring us to the YieldMax distribution. So the ones that I'm covering, again, there are others, but the ones that pay Thursday, there are 12. The ones that pay Friday, there are 42. So like 54 or so, at least from the ones that we're covering. All right. So now let's get the 150 zoom and let's talk about the distributions. Actually, I need to take a pause because I had too much coffee and I rushed this. Let me put some music on real quick and mute your asses. You guys can talk. Oh, they got some new music. Drum roll. We are back. We are back. All right. Anyway, so let me see what's going on here. All right. When is the cutoff day to get the payout? Well, it passed. Today's ex-dividend date on Group 2. Yesterday was ex-dividend date on Group 1. So it's you have to own. It depends which group you're talking about, but both of them have passed for this week. So, all right. Anyway, let's get to it. So this is about the distributions now. Again, so Feet and 5E, they did not pay. And Mike Venuto explained this on actually TNA at his Spaces. He always joins her Spaces, by the way. So if you guys want to talk to Mike Venuto, you got to go to TNA, Parabolic Spaces, because, you know, he's a fan of her, right? He likes her. Everyone likes her. She's a nice lady. But he kind of explained since the funds that they own, they did not pay, right, the prior week. So there was nothing to divvy out. But now that the funds that they own are paying weekly, right, starting this week, next week, they can begin to pay weekly. So again, that's the reason for the gap on both Feet and 5E. Hopefully I explained that right. But yeah, it's just a one-time thing. Now that we're all weekly, all good, right? All good. I was not expecting that. Clearly, I probably should have thought about that, but I did not, because I did not focus on them enough. But obviously, my guesstimate was way off on them since they were zero, right? All right. So anyway, how you doing here? How's everyone else doing here? Let's see. So yeah, YMAX, YMAG, you know, they paid pretty well. But again, we can't, you know, they're going to start to balance out, I think, once all the funds start to pay weekly. So I wouldn't even judge like this to be a norm. I'll wait till next week. All right. But the real guesstimates, the real stuff that you guys care about is A, B, C, and D. All right. So I'm going to explain what they paid. And I know I've done it already. You guys are probably sick of hearing me about it, but there are people that kind of need to hear this. So first, these guys, Group B. This is the last time we'll talk about the letter groups, by the way. Music button. Is the music too loud? Maybe I'll just turn off the music for now. All right. Let's see. So anyway, let's look here. Again, this was Group B. They paid the week prior, right? So that means this is kind of representing, you know, what they're going to pay going forward at or around that. And this is their yield. So obviously, you know, Maro looks like they paid a high chunk. Maybe they won't be dialed down the jams. All right, was it that loud? Damn. All right. Well, no more jams. But anyway, PLTY, you know, if we look here, where the hell is it? 74 cents. Maro 30 cents. NVIDIA 10 cents. I know I saw a lot of people saying NVIDIA 10 cents, but you got, you know, you guys got to keep in mind their IV, what is that? 44%. So here's their where's the IV estimate? All weeklies one. Wait, is it it's hidden. There it is. IV estimate 13 cents. Yeah, so I guess it should have been maybe a little more, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, let me hide these again. Actually, we can keep, you know, we'll keep all the damn cells open. Who cares? All right, so that's for group B. Now, if we go to now group A, you know, they had 2 weeks worth. So they had to do a true up. What the hell is A? A is peach, I guess. So A, they had 2 weeks worth that, you know, they had to pay out. So here it is, right? Here it is. So this is not going to be like kind of like what you're going to see, because this is based on 2 weeks. All right. You know, and then next week it'll be a true weekly, but anything that's shined out, obviously we'll just go to the yield column, RDYY, 87% yield. But again, their IV is 93%. So freaking amazing there. Crash, actually 74% yield. Snowy, 65% yield. So some big payers right there. So let's go here. Again, that was group A. Now we'll look at group D, because group D, they paid based on 3 weeks. So we'll go to the purple ones. Hello, purple. All right, Circo, this is their first payment, by the way. HIYY and Circo, this is their first payment. Again, they're kind of getting overshadowed by all these changes, but let's focus on that. HIYY paid 206. That was a 67% yield. Circo paid 247, and that came to an 85% yield. And if you're wondering how I'm calculating the yield, yes, I am using the true up number. So I'm using not 52 weeks to make this. I'm using 52 divided by 3, because again, that's represented of 3 weeks, if that makes sense. All right. Coffee. All right. So any questions? Silver Bookie, what's going on? How much is the weekly going to cut the dividends on YieldMax? YieldMax, again, it was kind of a bumpy ride. Some weeks were higher than others, right? It always depended on what they got paid on the prior week. But now that each week they're getting paid by the same funds every single week, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a cut. Maybe some weeks that, you know, it's just not going to be as bumpy. Some weeks it'll be, you know, you were used to, it was higher some weeks it was lower. Now it's not going to be that. So I would expect it kind of in the middle of where it's been. So think of it as a more balanced paycheck, if anything, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's move on, unless you guys have any more questions. So this, yeah, the group D, well, who else? MSTY, obviously, you guys wanted to know. Again, this is not represented of a, you know, a 1 week payment. It's 3 weeks. So people keep asking me, what's MSTY going to pay normally? So here it is, 17 cents is kind of like the range you should expect, because their IV, holy crap. Wow. Good. Finally, MSTR 30-day IV, 70%. So wow. Okay. So that's based on 70%. This week, though, they did pay 82% yield. All right. So, you know, kind of in the ballpark of what we thought. Who else is in group D? You know, Winter's been doing good. They paid $1.46, 80% yield. SMCY 80 cents, 84% yield. Nothing else really shines. And last but not least, we're going to go to group C, because again, they had 4 weeks. They were scheduled to pay this week anyway. So of course, yeah, then of course they're going to have 4 weeks worth of data. But again, starting next week, they pay weekly, right? So next week will be based on a true week. I know this sounds confusing, but as we get into next week, it'll be kind of like a forgotten thing. We don't have to talk about the letter groups. We'll just talk about the number groups going forward. Okay. So anyway, who shined here? I mean, who do you think shined? Hoo-wee, hoo-wee. 594, baby. 106% yield. I mean, yeah, bro. We kind of expected a massive one. AMDY, man, I got that one wrong. Damn, 95 cents. That is a 116% yield. I look at their IV, it's around 69%. So again, this is if you divide that by 4, I don't think that's what you're getting on a normal basis. So don't get too excited. This just looks like a high chunker. Maybe they did well, better than normal for that cycle. CONY, a lot of people like CONY, right? Cone heads. I see you guys. 34 cents, 66% yield. I know you may not be happy, but hey, we'll see how it goes. IV estimate on normal weekly's payment, 9 cents. Again, it's a $6 fund. What do you want? 9 cents a week. It's pretty damn good. You know, I know you're looking at this maybe a little differently. You're looking at the amounts. You're comparing it to what they paid on the 4-week. You can't do that anymore. You got to focus now on the new payments. These are weekly payments. All right. Plus, you don't want them to pay out too much, right? You don't want your funds to droppity-doo-dah. Or maybe you do. I don't know. All right. What else we got here? Nothing else too exciting. So, but yeah, that's the gist of it. So, you know, let me clear my filter. Go to data, remove filter. And then, of course, yeah, we got house money. I don't even know if I update. Did I update house money? Where's the distribution total? Total distributions, BB21. Where's it pulling up to? Yeah, it's not even pulling up to BC. So let's fix that formula so we can calculate the new house monies. BC, we got there. There you go. Copy that down. This spreadsheet is not automated at, oh crap, I went too far. Is not automated at all. But to be honest, I don't really want it automated. I've made this from day one, and it's kind of like my my baby. So I don't want to mess around with it. And it does keep me kind of accountable to keeping an eye on things, you know, with the what's going on with each fund. So again, if we do this, so again, now that I don't have the merge cells in the way, I could just create a filter, and then I could do, all right, let me sort Z to A, and then you could see, okay, MSTY, 213% house money, NVIDIA, 175, CONY, 157, and then PLTY, 108. XYZY is next up. They're at 96%. They're going to hit 100 soon. Then TSLY's at 89. So is NEFLY. Phoebe's at 88. AMDY 87. So again, you can get the gist. Even AMZ at 84% house money. So again, if this is something again that we can do now going forward, it's just rather easy. But I'm normally going to have like all of this sorted by launch date on the file. But I guess it doesn't really matter. You know, this color coded crap is going to go away, right? Because we're going to add now the weeklies for week 2, right? So we'll copy this column, right? We go like this, but we don't need this jibber jabber that's in the way, right? We're just going to have all weeklies 2, because this will be the true. Well, I guess, you know, this should be actually all weeklies 1, and then this is all weeklies true up. That's my sheet. I call it whatever I want, right? So there you go. All weeklies 1, because next week is the first true round of weeklies, and then the other one was a true up. All right, makes sense? All right. Any questions before I move on to my options trades? Open her. Why is that not? It's weird. All right, I got to get rid of the freaking filter. There you go. Better. All right. So again, yeah, we'll have the guesstimate coming this Sunday. Again, I'll do my best to keep it fast. I don't want to bore you guys to death on a guesstimate video, but you know, we'll see. We'll make it fun. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, let's talk about options. I didn't prep this at all. I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at, honestly, but let's do our best. We'll do 200%. MSTY, I got no more shares to sell calls on. All 600 shares that I have They have covered calls. Lowest strike of the bunch is 13. Misty's at 1272. Is this in danger? Not, well, kind of. I mean, we'll see. The expiration date is 10/24, so it's not this week. It's next week. Because I thought, their ex-dividend date was next week, right? So now they have an ex-dividend date every week. So now the fund's actually dropping by the distro, which, which actually helps these not get assigned a little more. Although you got to think the payout would have been around the same, similar payout. But either way, it doesn't matter. If these don't get assigned, I'm going to sell calls on them again. So, it's 600 shares. And the plan was, I don't want Misty in this account anymore. This is the options account where I do only options trading. Misty, I want in my dividend car account. I'm trying to get probably, I'll say about 1,000 shares of Misty in that account. Right now I have 600. So I'm trying to move essentially this 600 from here and gain them in the other account through selling puts. So it looks like my sold puts in the other account, I will get assigned because Misty's dropping, but I won't get assigned on the covered calls, which, okay, whatever. It is what it is. Well, it's just the way to buy and sell things. I'm Finna says, good morning, bro. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Is there hidden money to be distributed in October because of RIC rules? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not really tracking that. Should I track that for next year? Again, I don't know. It's something that people care about more towards the end of the year. So I'll have 10 months of who gives a crap, and then I'll have 2 months of, who tell me, right? So is it worth the struggle for 10 months to track the data just to satisfy a 2-month period? I don't know, but also, how much time do they actually have to pay it out? Is it truly October? Can they pay some of it out in November? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have all that information. That's a question probably for their side, but I would say no. Let's just assume no for now. Clive with the stats, 60 likes, 160 watching. Yeah, there's actually 699 watching. Well, now 700 between both YouTube and X, and I appreciate you guys being here. So yeah, if you guys want to help out the channel, you can hit the thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on X, all you have to do is hit the heart. But you can also hit that, the arrows that go in a square. That's a repost. You can repost the stream, and that way others can find out about this channel, this weird ass channel. Again, it's a show about nothing, as I always say, right? It's a channel about nothing, and you learn nothing. So if you want to help people learn nothing, then repost it, right? All right, let's see. Amadora Love, cool ass name. Will YieldMax get a better dividend since it will receive all the distributed dividends from? I wouldn't say better. I'll say a more balanced dividend. While you still wanting to add Misty to your account? Yeah, I know. MSTR, well, Bitcoin's down. MSTR is down like even more. It hasn't been pretty. I get that. But yeah, it's not really more. It's not about adding. It's more about moving. So I'm kind of moving Misty from one account to the other. So I'm not actually increasing my overall position. I'm just kind of moving funds around. So hopefully that explains it. All right, rookie numbers. Oh, I know. It's definitely in a dip. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's rough. It's rough out there right now. All right, what's going on, Mike and Venus? Hey, Venus, shout out to Venus. She's over there. Maybe she's singing Gold Digger, right? Maybe she's not. But yeah, go give Mike and Venus a sub on YouTube. They'll be live maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? You never know. All right. So MSTR, hope it's not a scam. Well, yeah, let's I think if it was, we would have been screwed by now, right? Yep, TNA likes Venus. Shout out to the lovely Venus. What is this song? I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. It's like a soap commercial, right? Going to be hard to retire on Misty. Yeah. Yeah. Unless, again, it's going to be bumpy road. But yeah, a lot of people are salty with Misty, but MSTR went, they were what? Almost at 400. I think they were at 400 recently. Now they're down to like 3. I don't know, man. Z-Dubs here. Welcome. Good morning. I have 1,000 Misty now. Good job. I like 1,000. It's a nice round number. I like the round numbers too. A rally of MSTR will improve the Misty NAV and make her Misty go back up. Well, yeah, of course. If MSTR goes up, Misty will go up. But, it'll be a little cappity-doo-dah, right? Because they do sell covered calls. So it won't essentially track it 1-to-1. But, yeah, ideally, yeah, it'll go up for the most part with it. Yeah, that's true. I'll have to look up the words. Yeah, I'm not doing that now. We'll do it another video. But you guys know that commercial, right? It's an old ass commercial. MSTR broke 300, not good. Price action ain't good for Rod. Got to look at total return. What's up, SB? If you want to learn options, you talk to this guy. This guy, his name's SB. Super boobies. I don't know. That's the best I got. All right. Mike and Venus have 1,145 Misty, 1K Misty Gang. Yeah. Should we make a group, the 1K Misty Gang? 1K Misty Mafia? Misty to the moon? Sure. Let's go. Let's go to the freaking moon, brah. I have 500. Maybe shift from her. Let us. Wow, you guys are chatty now. MSTR and the S&P 500. Everyone's saying by 4Q it'll be in there. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, let's get to the rest of my freaking options. So TSLL, did I do any trades yet? No, I didn't. 10, 11. 10, 11. That's definitely not right. When the hell did I make this trade? Am I screwing up? Hold on a second. I did a. When did I do this trade? Oh, it's 7 o'clock. Let's see. Let's go to orders. All last 7 days. Where's freaking TSLL? 40. How much did I get here? 55 cents was the premium. $55. Yeah, I did that on 10/14. Apparently, I can't even write in dates. It's pretty. It's a damn shame, right? All right. So then, yeah. All right. So that's not all right. Anyway, so this was the 10/14 the other day. I don't think I covered it though. So TSLL, I believe, was down. So I sold a put with a 11/14 expiration. At the time, TSLL was at 18.15. I went way out of the money, 29% out of the money for a $13 strike. The delta is showing 0.12, and that paid me a 55-cent per share premium. If I annualize that, that comes to about 49%. So you could see a lot of action on my TSLL trades. Again, it's a beautiful ETF to trade options on. TNA, I mean, this thing is at 50. Literally, on the pre-market, it's at 50. So I'm already going to be in the money. But at least, hell, I captured more upside, in the process before these shares go. As you know, I sold the put, of course, too, at $35. So this wheel actually may come to an end. And it's okay. And if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. We heard some news with Trump in China last night, and I don't see the market being red. So maybe something else came out. I don't really know, but it doesn't matter. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Open, I did not add to because, again, I'm trying to get out of open for the wheel. I'm gonna save open for the new Roddy ETF. ST is S whooping. So I'm gonna get a sign. There's no way around it. I can't roll I can look at rolling, but it's probably not going to be worth it. So I may just have to take assignment with a crappy cost basis. And I have two choices. Well, I have many choices, actually. One is I could just sell out for a loss. Another is I could keep selling puts, lower my cost basis. And another is I just wait. I keep these to the side. I hope for decent recovery, and then I start to sell covered calls. Or I could just sell covered calls right away if I don't care about the shares. Because the IV is so damn high, you'll still get something. All right. All right. What else we got? We got BMNU. This is one of my new favorites. This thing is just a beast of a beast. I did a trade on the 13th. We talked about this, though. I made about 140. My leaps are just chilling. I think I have a plan with the leaps. I'll talk about that in another video. And then I'm just going to go to my weekly income. And so far, I've generated $450 for this week. I need to make 540 to hit my goal, and that's going to be easy. I'll do that either today or tomorrow, so no worries there. All right, so that's the update on my options. That's the update on YieldMax. That's the update on this, that, and the other thing. So here's the update on Bitcoin. Let's cover the comments, and then we'll call it a day. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, all right. All right. Yes, October 31st is the end of the fiscal year. SB is sending a caution on MSTY. Could really hurt you in the long run on total return. Well, any investment can hurt you. It depends how the investment goes, of course. SB already hurting on MSTY. Yep. Well, again, yeah. Did you get, maybe you probably got house money, Mike and Venus. So you may not be as hurting as you think. If you started MSTY too, yeah, exactly. You're dancing. If I could dance, I'd get up and dance. Let's dance. Let's dance. Let's dance. I'm down 54% in MSTY as far as my cost first. Yeah. All right. So, all right. I'm updated on the comments. Damn, that was an hour. That was an hour video, and we didn't even get much done. Like I said, it's a show about nothing. And we talk about nothing, and we learned nothing. So hopefully everyone learned nothing. No, but for real, guys, thank you for your patience as I get through the new coverage of YieldMax. I think it'll be better in the long run. Actually, I'm thinking about having you guys tell me which 5 funds I should cover on each video. Maybe like a voting system. I think that would be pretty cool. I just don't know how I could do that with all those funds. Maybe I can make like a shared spreadsheet, or maybe there's a website that could do that for me. If you guys have any idea on a suggestion for that, let me know. But yeah, man. So as always, this is not financial advice. This schmuck is not a financial advisor. And this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. Come back tomorrow. Come back the next day and the next day. Actually, tomorrow's video will be Yield Boost. I'll be doing an update on Yield Boost every Friday. Hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, it's going to be, again, we're doing different things, all right? We're changing it up. Spice it up just a little bit. And, of course, feedback is a welcome, like a poll. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a matter of where. Where am I going to do this? Like where can I share this with the YouTube people and X people that it won't be too hard to track? Suggestions are welcome. So leave them in the comments down below. All right. What else? If you guys enjoy this, I already said that like button, you guys know that. Is there a rod on gold? Is there a rod on gold? I mean, there's GDXY. Right? Are you asking if there's an ETF on gold? Yeah, there's tons. there are tons. Yield Boost over YieldMax question. I mean, it's up to the individual. It's up to their goals. It's up to their comfortability. Every ETF does something different. Every ETF has different underlyings. Every ETF, different strategies. So you can't really compare to say, it's hard to say which is better. It's up to you guys. You're the investor. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different situation. Everyone has different goals, different risk tolerance. So you guys are the best suited to make that decision yourself, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna have to end it. So as always, what the heck are we doing? Keyword time. Yeah. So if you made it this far in the video and remember Tatanka? You want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. Keyword is what? What? What's the keyword? What's the keyword? Come on. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Should we make the keyword Venus? What do you think? What do you think, Mike? Venus? I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. Venus, anyone? Anyone? You guys are slow. Man, there's 785 people here. So what do you think? What do you do? What do you say? But yeah, you guys are too slow. So TNA says it. So whatever TNA says goes. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to type in the keyword. The keyword down below is Venus. What is Venus? Well, go to the Mike and Venus YouTube channel and find out. All right, go join them for a cup of coffee, conversation, or even a beer, whatever suits your needs. But we'll leave it at that, and we're going to end it here, get our asses to work, and I will talk to you suckers tomorrow, if that sounds good. Oh, your desire? I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. Your desire. Yeah, there you go. We'll end it there with that song. I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. Your desire. Later.